जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे थैंक यू फॉर the opportunity. You're on mute, Prabhuji, if you're talking.
Yes, Tapan Prabhu sings so well, feels like why to stop. Let's just continue like that. All right. Any volunteers for Mangala Charan?
I can do Prabhuji if no one is taking.
Okay. Any other one you want to make sure there is a...
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I can do.
Yeah, please.
Om Jnana Tirimnandasya Jnananjana Shalake
Sorry, sir.
Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha.
Just 1 second. I'm out of control.
Om Jnana Tirimnandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Visha Khan Vintamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पास्तस्ता देशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपीशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांते नमस्तुते तप्त कांचा गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदारा श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Amazing. So, what shloka we completed last time? We started on 719.
I think 723 was the last one completed.
Yes, Roji. 723.
Okay. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular devata and obtains his desires, but in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. That we covered. Then 23 is men of small intelligence worship the devatas, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the devatas go to the planets of the devatas, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. And I think the carry point for Rajveer Prabhu was that if we know, if we are worshipping a certain devata, knowing that Krishna is supreme personality of the Godhead, then those results can be long lasting. That means the interrelationship has to be understood. Say, for example, um,
Awareness, Prabhuji.
awareness. Yes, awareness is important. And see, the fun part is right, for example, a person, elderly person in the house is doing some yard work, right? And this person has a son to be married, and there is a relationship comes, means, the proposal. So that party means the girl's parents or uncles, they come visit this house. As they enter, they see this old person doing the yard work, and they think that ye to Mali hai, this is the gardener. And they say, hey, Malik kidhar hai? So because they do not know who is who in the family and this person is doing out of hobby, they may end up trampling the relationships. So it's important to understand who is who before you build solid relationships. So if we're trying to build solid relationship with spiritual personalities, we have to understand who is where. And then in that context, when we speak, that is good. Okay, so we start with the 724. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Avyaktam vyaktim apanna
Avyaktam
Vyaktim
Vyakyam
Apannam.
Aparnam
nyante mama abuddhyaha
Manyante
Manyante Mam
Abudhaya
Abudhya
param bhavam ajananto
Param Bhavam Ajanto
mama vyayam anuttamam.
Mama Vyayam
Anuttamam.
Anuttamam
Avyaktam, unmanifested. Vyaktim, personality. Apanam, achieved. Manyante, think. Mam, me. Abuddhayaha, less intelligent persons. Param, supreme. Bhavam, existence. Ajanantaha, without knowing. Mama, my. Avyayam, imperishable. Anuttamam, the finest. Translation. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Purport, anyone?
I can read from it.
Yeah, please.
Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna, in his personal form, is here speaking before Arjuna, and still, due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Yamunacharya, a great devotee of the Lord, in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, Tvam Shilarupa Charitrah Param Prakrishte Satvena Satvikatya Prabalajya Shastre Prakhatar Dev Paramartha Viddam Mataikshwar Naiva Sura Prakrutayah Prabhavanti Bodha Dhuma. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities. And one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However, experts such non devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and Upanishads and other Vedic literatures. It is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by study of the Vedanta literature. Only by the mercy of Supreme Lord can the personality of the Supreme be known. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only are the worshippers of the demigods less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literature without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as abuddhaya, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized supersoul. But the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great predecessors. Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the Supreme Truth, think Krishna to be only the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or a prince, or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti mam mudha manusim tanum ashritam. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam 10.14.29 confirms this. Athapi te deva padatma bhuja dvaya prasad leshanu prahita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimamyano nachanya ekopi chiram vijinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his form, quality, or name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then only one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotee impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made of this material nature and that all his activities, his form and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. The 20th
Sorry.
verse.
Prabhu, This purport seems to be long enough. Do you want to take turns or you want to continue reading?
I can continue, Prabhuji.
Okay.
The 20th verse clearly states, Kamais tais ter rita jnana prapadyante nyaya devata. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender into the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets, and the Lord also has a planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Devayajo Yanti Madbhakta Yanti Mam Api. The worshippers of the demigod go to the different planets of the demigods. And those who are devotees of Lord Krishna go to the Krishnalok planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and their abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and the demigods have theirs. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigods and the form of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Krishna is Satchidanand, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedic literature confirms that the Supreme Absolute Truth is knowledge and blissful pleasure. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma Brihad Aranyak Upanishad 3.9.28, and that he is the reservoir of ultimate auspicious qualities, Ananta Kalyana Gunatmako. So, Vishnu Puran 6.5.84. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is Aja, unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. Bhurijan Prabhu notes from book Surrender Unto Me, unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Krishna just described demigod worships are possessing small intelligence. Here he labels the impersonalist Abuddhya, even less intelligent. Abuddhya can also be translated as possessing no intelligence. Srila Prabhupada systematically reveals their misconception in this lengthy purport. If Krishna and his form, characteristics, abodes, and worshippers are all eternal, why can't he be seen? Why can't impersonalists who are detached from matter and are therefore also transcendentalists see him? Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So that is amazing. Yeah, Survi Mataji, Anu Mataji, Abhishek, Kanav Prabhu, Saprabhu. Thank you for joining. So 9:11, how easy it is to remember that is the shloka where Krishna says, Avajananti Mamudam. Krishna ने उनका 9:11 कर दिया by calling them Mudhas. Mudha is like Murkh ya Badhir. And if you look at the Srila Prabhupada's contribution to the world of spirituality, right? Of course, through parampara. That's fine. So Srila Prabhupada's contribution to the world of spirituality, if you look at, for literally the history of Hinduism, if you look at, impersonalists are very prominent in today's time and age, right? Most of the Hindu speakers will say that Vivekananda, and then basically everything is formless. Nirakar bhi ek akar hai. They come out with arguments like that even lack of form is also a form. So don't worry, there is a form. So the whole point is, in that process, what happened? It goes back to it's nothing against anyone. It's the history of spirituality that we have studied in the past, where Buddhism had conquered the whole India, Bharatvarsha, everything. Hinduism was out. Because Buddha wanted to make sure that the animal killing is not happening. And that's incarnation of Lord himself. So although there are levels of incarnation, and this is a person incarnation, means it's not the full incarnation. But Lord Buddha basically parked Vedas in the parking lot. No business. Why? Because people were referring to Vedas and doing the animal killing incorrectly. Okay. So then Shankaracharya came. His primary purpose was unused incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. And he says that he tells Parvati that I am going and I am going to give the Asat Shastra clearly. And you cannot join me because I am going as a brahmachari or sannyasi. And Shankaracharya, so Shankaracharya himself clearly tells his disciples in the final. So first he does is he goes around debating, arguing, and because people, you cannot imagine the influence of Buddhism at one point in time in India. People had become so like pale in terms of ahimsa, that if somebody kills a mosquito also, that was a big thing, right? Forget about the invaders, like, whole Afghanistan was taken over by the people coming from Middle East, and people did not fight basically because Afghanistan was also fully Buddhist. That's why there are the Banyan Buddha caves where the Taliban goes and fires their weapons to dismantle Buddha statues. Who created those tall mountain Buddha statues without that place being Buddhist? Right? So Buddhism had taken over completely what we today know, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh. It was totally Buddhism. And as a result, literally, the situation was people had become so neutral in their behavior, people were even not making babies. Population was on the decline. It was really powerful in terms of where it was. So Shankaracharya came and said, okay, because you have become so kind of impersonalist, I will give you an impersonalist way of understanding Vedas and make you accept that. And then he said, Buddha is telling you, you are nothing. I will tell you, you are everything. See? And then Vedas are full of Bheda and Abheda Vakya. Bheda Vakya means Lord and me are different. Abheda Vakya means I am like Lord only. So he selectively picked up statements from Vedas. He wrote the book called as Sharirak Bhashya. If you read that Sharirak Bhashya, you will be fully convinced that nothing is real, all is one. Because he is Lord Shiva, husband of Maya Devi. Maya Devi puts us in hypnotism. So it is very easy for Lord Shiva to put us in hypnotism that we are all one, you are one, I am one, everything is one. So he basically conquered the whole India, dismantled Buddhist philosophy, re-established Vedas. That was the purpose of Shankaracharya's arrival. And then at the end of his preaching, what did he do? He said, Re Mudha, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. Now, although we understand this as, please worship Govinda, how simple it is. What his disciples are saying, the impersonalist, Re Mudha, I am intelligent, no? I am intelligent. Shankaracharya is saying, Re Mudha, so those who are Mudha should worship Govindas. Understand? So that is how they keep propagating what he initially said about impersonalism. Not finally what he said is Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. So that is interesting. So now, these are waves. Buddhism was a wave, impersonalism was a wave. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wave is going on, where we will cleanse whole this impersonalism and establish what? Not only, impersonalist way, right, in one sense that the devatas are not final God. Okay, that part was correct. But when you throw the baby with the bath water out, that is not correct. So when you said Krishna is also a devata and Krishna is also just a temporary manifestation, he was a personality, maybe a smart personality, maybe a clever personality, maybe a good politician, maybe he was a yogi, maybe he was a super yogi. No, 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 no. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And that irrevocable fact, which is from Bhagavad Gita, as established by Srila Prabhupada across the globe, has a unique place in the history of Hinduism. The purport, although looks long, that is what heart out Srila Prabhupada is trying to tell us, that Krishna is, as a personality, eternal personality and supreme personality of Godhead. Once we, and only who can understand it, right? Krishna himself says that only, Arjuna, he tells Krishna that Krishna, the great rishis or devatas cannot also understand, only devotees can understand. And so basically why? Because that understanding sits in our heart, but it is revealed to us by Krishna only. So only by Krishna's grace, we will be able to understand Krishna, and Krishna will give the grace only by the grace of devotees. Somebody referring Krishna, that way is very neutral. So if you don't want to believe Krishna as a personality of Godhead, he doesn't have any problem. He's like, okay, carry on with your life. Live your life. Only when the devotees say, no, 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 Krishna, I want people to understand you as the supreme personality of the Godhead, then Krishna will say, okay, fulfilling your desire, I will allow them to understand that I am the supreme personality of the Godhead, I am the end to end for everything, and they can surrender unto me, and I'll fully take care of them. But Krishna is not, although he is eager, internally is eager, externally as a personality, because we are people, right? अगर हम लोग से कोई बात नहीं कर रहे, हम लोग भी उससे बात नहीं करेंगे. So Krishna is saying, yeah, go with your business, no problem, no problem. And then internally he's craving that all these are my souls, all these are my children, they should be here. And because devotees, and especially pure devotees, understand the heart of Krishna, although Krishna says, yeah, I don't care, the devotees care. And they say, no, we will go out of way, we will convince all the people about who Krishna really is and bring them to Krishna, because by coming to Krishna, all their problems go away forever. And also, what problems they have in life also can be controlled. So it is the devotees who play the role of matchmaking between Krishna and Krishna's those devotees who have forgotten that they are devotees. Why? Some point in time we all were connected to Krishna. In future we will be connected to Krishna. In the meantime, हम लोग थोड़ा कट्टी खेल रहे हैं, हम लोग बात नहीं कर रहे कृष्णा के साथ. And devotees are trying to do this patch up and saying that नहीं, let's all go party together. Any questions, comments on what is being said? Okay, so we can continue to the next.
Prabhuji, just one thing though. One question. Is it prohibited that not to worship the devil?
Is it prohibited? Is that the question?
Yeah.
See, just now what we read was Krishna is saying it is not a very intelligent thing to do. It is not prohibited. It is just not very intelligent. So my kids come and say, Papa, I want to go and see this Supermax movie, God knows what, new Hollywood movies. At 11 o'clock show, we'll come back at 1 o'clock. And these are like, age 19, 20 years old. By American standards, it is okay to go on a Friday night for a movie, right? But that movies have no essence. There is no permanent value. You end up losing God knows $20, $50 and popcorns and all that. And you're coming late at night. That means next day you'll wake up late. So your health is going to be little impacted. So although it is okay to do, it is not very intelligent to do. Do you see the difference?
Okay.
Who goes to devatas? Somebody who has a desire that has to be fulfilled immediately. And the solid example of people who go to Devatas are Bhasmasura. The Asura who did such a hard tapashcharya to please Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gave him the boon that, okay, whoever you put your hand on will get burnt. And then he sees Mother Parvati, and Parvati is the most beautiful lady in the universe. Okay, although we talk about everybody here, Apsaras and Radharani and everybody, Parvati is the most beautiful lady in this universe. So the moment Bhasmasura looks at that lady, he wants to marry her. But how can he? Lord Shiva, who just now gave the boon, is standing right there. Then he starts chasing Lord Shiva only. So that means, do you call? And before that, he was so much doing tapasya for Lord Shiva, not out of love, but for the love of his desires. So people who go with desires and worship, um, basically that's not real worship, right? It is more like a deal, saying that I will do this and I'll get that. And that is why Devata worship is not recommended, because Devatas will still give it. Lord Shiva gave it. And then Vishnu Maya, Vishnu came and saved Lord Shiva. Vishnu came in the form of a Brahmana and said, hey, Bhasmasura, do you know? This Lord Shiva, I heard the rumor that his boons don't work anymore. You know, there is a rumor going on that his boons are useless nowadays. Why don't you test it by putting your hand on your head? And actually, he did it. Why? Vishnu Maya, hypnotism, Vishnu's hypnotism. And he died. And then when Lord Shiva said, thank you, thank you, thank you, again Krishna said, please, give boons carefully. So Devatas have this habit of giving something that may not be good for you. And hence, even Brahma, when he gave that boon to Hiranyakashipu, and then Krishna had to come as Narsimhadev and kill Hiranyakashipu. Again, he told Brahma, Brahma, be careful of what you give. You give the boons, and then I have to make sure that, your words are protected, and still you are protected from your words. So all of that. The whole point is, it is not a very intelligent business. But why Krishna has given it? Because who comes away from Krishna in the first place? People who are not intelligent. So it is, for not intelligent people, it is okay. For intelligent people, in the last purports we discussed, if we understand the relationship, right, that, okay, this Devata is expansion of Krishna, but independent personality, not as powerful as Krishna, but gets his power from Krishna. And then when you ask, Prabhupada says that benefit is eternal, because you are not giving up on the Krishna's supreme personality position. Does that help, Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, just a follow-up question on this.
Join Hare Krishna. No Devatas, no Devatas. There is a fight in the family. My dad used to take me to a Shiva temple, which is our Kula Devata, Khandova. And then I used to take him to ISKCON temple. And we were like, there was a tug of war going on. And finally, I did win because my dad became a Hare Krishna, got initiated. So the point is, initially we go through a fanatic round, but as you study more and more, you do understand that respect everyone, respect Devatas, and be very practical. Just don't give up on one thing, that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. Yeah, somebody was saying something.
Yeah, just a follow-up question, Prabhuji. So every desire needs to get approved, right? So without approval, it does not happen.
By Krishna?
So yeah, that's what I'm asking. So does it have to go through Brahma, or does it get approved by Krishna?
Okay. Ultimately, Krishna is the approver of it, that we know. But he has delegated this system, saying that Devatas, as long as it is in the karma, you can give it. And he has made this arrangement. Krishna has made this arrangement for a soul to express their freedom without him, to express their, what is the, at the length of their karma. Like if your credit card allows you to borrow $15,000 and the bank allows you to borrow $15,000, right? Then the government says, okay, that's your problem, correct? But why it is not very intelligent? Because the interest rate is 20%. So what is in your karma, Devatas cannot give you anything more than that. That is why these Rakshasas have to also do tapascharya to increase their karma balance before they ask for something. But Krishna can give you something that is not in your karma also, or he will not give you something that is in your karma but not good for you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends a doggy puppy to spiritual world in front of everyone's eyes. Shivananda sends puppy. right? But he feeds him coconut pieces, and the dog leaves the body and goes in his spiritual body directly to the Vaikuntha Loka, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is smiling, and all devotees are watching, and devatas are showering flowers that this soul went back to spiritual world. So Krishna can give you what is not really, so does not belong to you. He can still give it. He'll just make sure that enhances your bhakti, that enhances your relationship with him, that enhances your, you become a better person out of it. Whereas devatas can spoil you basically, like Nala Kovera story, right? The Nalas and Koveras, they are basically, doing this without clothes. They are playing with the girls, their girlfriends in the waters, and drunk. So, and that is in Swarga. So that's the Swargaloka we are talking about. So Swargaloka means, just think of it like a very place of sense enjoyment only, but it is more elevated than where we are. Just like how Samamish is better than Mumbai. Like that, Swarga is better than Samamish. But that doesn't mean they are better devotees, or of course, everything is better than human life. But you can be on earth and you can be a pure devotee. And it is possible that you are a devata and you are not a pure devotee. That is also possible. So that is why devata worship is not. Think of it like a local politician. He has a lot of power in the back state home that you have. He makes one phone call, things happen. But is it very intelligent to think of him as a supreme personality, the Godhead? The answer is no. He has to also die. Devatas also have to leave their body. So that's the answer. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna ultimately says, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Come to me only. Why? Krishna wants exclusive relationship, so that because he also offers exclusivity. Can you imagine? I have $5 and Vedanarayan Prabhu has $10 million, and now we become friends. And because we become friends, I say, my $5 are yours, Prabhu. Use it anytime. What Veda Prabhu has to do out of friendship? He has to say, okay, Prabhu, my $10 million are also yours. Use it anytime. That is what happens in our relationship with Krishna. So Krishna is saying, at least you need to be exclusive. Pata chala, I am doing the same thing with other 50 people, and then I am taking his $10 million and giving to other people who have no relationship with Ved Prabhu. It's kind of convoluted, right? So exclusivity, because Krishna, who owns everything, source of everything, becomes surrendered to his own devotees, which we see in many examples. So because Krishna is willing to give everything, his style of love and relationship is, I am yours now. And because it is I am yours now, you cannot give I am yours now to everybody, but only who are in proper relationship with you. So Krishna, that's why he puts us through a test where you ask things of this world, Krishna will give it very easily. But if you ask Krishna Prema, oh, now we have to really go through a process to make sure that we are qualified. Krishna Prema is not very easy. That's the highest. And there is a price to be paid. What? Single focus. Very nice reading the purport with Prabhu. Thank you. Next one, 725. Naham prakashah sarvasya
Naham prakasha sarvasya
yogamaya samavritah
yogamaya samavrita
mudoyo nabhijanati
mudoyam abhijanati
loko mama ajam avyayam.
loko mam ajam avayam.
Synonyms: nor, aham, I, prakashah, manifest, sarvasya, to everyone, yogamaya, by internal potency, samavritaha, covered, mudha, foolish, avyayam, these, avyam, these, not, abhijananti, can understand, lokaha, persons, mam, me, ajam, unborn, avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So now we know very quickly what to do with people who, in the name of spirituality, are going to tell anytime in future that, oh, don't worry, Krishna is just a temporary manifestation. No, 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 it's not. Yeah, that's not very intelligent. Okay, purport. Who wants to go?
I can read probably.
Yes, please.
It may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, how can it be said that he is not manifest to everyone? But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present there were only few people who could understand him to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Shishupala spoke against Krishna being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be. Oh no, when Shishupala spoke against Krishna being elected president of assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the supreme God. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was the supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common man. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that what for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to his devotee as a reservoir of all pleasure, but to others, to unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his eternal potency. In the prayers of Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yoga Maya. Thus, ordinary people cannot understand him. This Yoga Maya curtain is also confirmed in the Ishopshanad, in which the devotee prays, Hiranyame Patreण Satyasyapihitam Mukham Tattvam Pushanna Apabrano Satdharmaya Drashte. O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yogamaya. The Brahmajyotir is the covering of all of the eternal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your such Chit Ananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by eternal potency of Brahmajyotir, and less intelligent impersonalities cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.4, 14.7, there is this prayer by Brahma, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mysteries, who can calculate your potency and pastime in this world? You are always expanding your eternal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitutions of the material world or even the planet, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn but also abhaya. Abhyaya, okay. Inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. Brijan Prabhu's notes from book Surrender Unto Me. I'm never manifest to foolish and unintelligent. For them, I'm covered by my eternal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn, unfallible. Because of impersonality's foolishness, Krishna covers them with this Maya potency. They can thus neither see nor understand him. Does that covering work both ways? Does Maya also prevent Krishna from knowing them? As a closed stage curtain simultaneously blocks the audience or vision of the actor's vision of the audience. So, yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, bro. Any questions on what we're reading?
No, I think.
Clear? Yeah. So we
Is
can.
it that we get covered by our own material desires and not able to experience? Like some says that God exists in the experience, and because we are so uh, in- so indulged in our own demands or our own needs that we do not experience. Is that what they're referring here, or?
They are just saying what they're saying over here. This doesn't mean something else. It's as simple as this, that there are two levels of what do you call it? Hypnotism, right? Maya. One is Mahamaya, and one is Yoga Maya. Mahamaya puts us in illusion, who is Parvati. And Yoga Maya, who puts us in illusion, is Subhadra. Both are energies of Lord. Maya Dhakshina Prakriti. My Adhyakshata. Prakriti operates under my control, Krishna says. So in the spiritual world, Yoga Maya covers us, puts us in illusion, so that we will not know Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead, because otherwise we cannot play with him. We cannot have the relationship with him. Can you imagine, somebody sitting next to you is like President of America, and he has all the nuclear buttons carrying with him and all that. You can't really be friendly with that person. You can't joke. You cannot pat on his back, because the security guards will run to you saying that, why are you killing the president? So the whole point is, because of his authority and position, it's difficult to be real friends with that person. So Krishna removes that by having Yogamaya cover all the souls in the spiritual world. That Yogamaya covers him also in the Leela, not in the Siddhanta. Leela, Krishna is also covered in believing I am just a child and I have to be scared when there is a lightning outside. I will run under the pallu of my mama, Yashoda Maya, and he's actually shivering, and actually his eyes are full of fear. And Yashoda Maya believes, I don't feed my Krishna, he will die. All these are the Leelas in which everybody is covered by Yoga Maya, that Krishna is not Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Isn't it nice? But then, in the pastime of Yashoda Maya watching Krishna's mouth, and in that she sees the whole universe. In that again, she sees herself and Krishna. And that is where uh, she starts thinking, is my son God or something? And Krishna doesn't like that thought. So he switches off his the demonstration. He says, no, I want my mama to be my mama. I don't want her to think that I am Supreme Personality of the Godhead and all that. So Yogamaya makes you believe Krishna is not God. Yoga, and then Mahamaya, which is Parvati, and she's not happy about her service, but her service is also that she does it as a service, not because she wants to. Her job is also to keep us in the illusion that Krishna is not Supreme Personality of Godhead. So under the influence of Maya, all these impersonalists and ordinary people, they cannot believe that Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead, because they are not blessed yet. So the knowledge exists in our heart, the curtain has to be lifted. That lifting of the curtain, and that curtain is that of Mahamaya, that can only be lifted by the mercy of devotees and Krishna. That is why it is very hard for a lot of people to believe Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Although Bhagavad Gita have been distributed in the range of, huge numbers, I would say. So the whole point is, we basically, sadhana siddha or krupa siddha. Sadhana siddha means you do so much of tapasya that you come to the point of realization. or Krupa Siddha. Krupa Siddha means you get the mercy of the devotees of the Lord, and that is how you realize Krishna. Like I had one family who were my teachers both, right? Madhav Gaurang Prabhu and Shamla Mataji. I have their video on my YouTube channel. So Madhav Gaurang Prabhu would never be in the books. He would be in the service. And Mataji would always be in the books. But they would be shocked. It was shocking for them to understand that there many times their realization should match. So Prabhu was realizing it by serving devotees, and Mataji was realizing it by reading the books and understanding the statements. But both, she was sometimes surprised how clear his realizations were, but he had not read that in the book. So just by serving the devotees also, we can realize Krishna. We have to please devotees, receive mercy, and that mercy lifts the curtains, and our internal conviction about Krishna becomes stronger and stronger. Does it help?
Yeah.
So who wants to read the next one? Start with everything. I need to mute a little. Start the shloka also.
Did we do the shloka?
He asking us to do the shloka.
The background noise behind me.
Vedaham samtitani.
Okay. Can I do the shloka, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead. That my background noise is gone, so I'm available. Yeah, please go ahead.
Vedaham samatitani
Vedaham samatitani
vartamanani Arjuna
vartamanancha Arjuna
bhavishyani cha bhutani
Vishyani
Shani cha bhutani
mam tu vedana kaschana.
Mam tu vedana kaschana. No. Aham, I. Samatitani, completely past. Vartamanani, present. Cha, and. Arjuna, oh Arjuna. Bhavishyani. Bhavishyani, future. Cha, also. Bhutani, all living entities. Mam, me. Tu, but. Veda, knows. Na, not. Kaschana, anyone. Oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all that is yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. What a powerful position to be in. Huh? So we better be humble in front of Krishna, because we do not know what we were in the last life. We do not know what we are going to be the future life, but Krishna knows our full past and full future. Okay, so purport, please. Who wants to go?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, madam.
Are you hearing any noise in the background, Prabhuji?
Not at all.
Okay. Here, the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were Maya, material as impersonalists consider him to be, then, like the living entity, he would change his body and forget everything about his past life. Alone with the material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in the past, present, and future. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, what will happen in the future. In the 4th chapter, we have seen Lord Krishna remembers instructing Vivaswan, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being, heart as the super soul. But despite his presence in every living entity as super soul, his presence as a supreme personality of Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as super personal. Certainly, the transcendental body of Krishna is not perishable. He is just the sun. The Maya is like a cloud. In material world, we see that we see that there is the sun and there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all the sky, all those in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent in our limited vision. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. By his eternal potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of the men. As it is stated in the third verse of this chapter, out of millions and millions of men, some try to become perfect in this human form of life, and out of thousands and thousands of such perfected men, hardly can one can understand what Lord Krishna is. Even if one is perfected by the realization of impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness. Burjan Prabhu notes from the Surrender Unto Me. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushan poses a question. If a living entity can be covered by Maya and fall into the ignorance, can this also happen to Krishna? No. He answers, Maya is inferior to Krishna and is controlled by Krishna's powers. She carries out his orders and cannot affect him. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains Krishna's words. Maya has no power to bewilder her own shelter. Therefore, neither the external Maya nor the internal Yoga Maya can cover my awareness. And no one knows my completely no materialistic or transcendental person, such as Maharudra or anyone else, even the most omniscient person. This is because either Maya or Yoga Maya, as is appropriate in each individual case, is always covering everyone's awareness. Mamtu Vedhanakaschana signifies that who truly knows Krishna is very rare. In the next 4 verses, Krishna describes how and when the living entities become covered by Maya. He also explains how they can become free from Maya. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Amazing. Thank you. All of you are reading purports very nicely. Krishna has two potencies, internal and external. Internal potency, and it is not eternal potency. Sometimes we may read that like eternal potency because eternal is a spiritual world, but it is internal potency and external potency. Internal potency is Subhadra Maya, Yogamaya, who runs the spiritual world. An external potency or Parvati, who runs the physical world that we are in. So we have to kind of differentiate between the two. And even right now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Prabhu is saying that based on that individual, means where they are in the spiritual world or material world, they're covered by one of the potencies. Everybody is covered. Why everyone is covered? In the spiritual world, they're covered so that they can fully express their happy relationship with Krishna. In this world, why are they covered? Because they want to stay away from Krishna. That also needs to be covered. Means they need to be put into that illusion so that they can enjoy, right? For example, if people want to go, say, pubbing, clubbing, dancing, whatever, they need the support of the alcohol or drugs to fully manifest their enjoyment on Friday nights. Why? So they're normal person in the morning. In the evening, they will smoke weeds or drink alcohol or something. So they'll put themselves in a state of illusion so that they can go and fully express themselves in their Friday night parties. So it is a very rude example or crude example of why we are put into illusion, so that we can fully manifest our freedom in our relationship to Krishna, either because we want to connect with Krishna and enjoy with Krishna, and that is where we can be Gopas, we can be Gopis, we can be Yashodamaya, we can be, any relationship, 5 relationships we have. To be in those relationships, first you have to forget that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Other than probably, Dasya Rasa, we should ask. Dasya Rasa, we know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead. But other rasas, you cannot really say, I am friends with Krishna, and then Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So we are all covered. Krishna is not covered. We do not know our past. We do not know our future. But Krishna knows our past, present, and future. And in Bhagavad Gita also, we have read that Krishna says, oh, Krishna, 4th chapter, I believe, that Krishna says, even 2nd chapter, that I have always been there, and I have given this knowledge to Vivaswan. Arjuna says, wow, Vivaswan is very long age, very old, and you are young, you are my cousin, how this is possible? Then Krishna again says that, yeah, that's because I remember everything, you don't remember everything. So he tells Arjuna also, and Arjuna is Nitya Siddha, his eternal associate. They participate in multiple different incarnations. Still, Arjuna is in illusion, Krishna is not in illusion, because that is the primary difference. That Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Arjuna is just a very, very good soul. Any comments, questions? Because Bhagavad Gita speaks so vividly and Prabhupada explains it so clearly, there is no confusion left about Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And why we have to emphasize this so much? Because the rest of the world is in that illusion, and we have this unique responsibility and opportunity to go and tell everyone that, hey, do you know Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead? And that has to be done tactfully. If they end up kind of saying things which are mean to Krishna, we are incurring the karma. Why? Because Krishna says, जो मूढ़ास है उनको छोड़ दो, उनको मत बताओ. And then devotees say that we basically, we need to preach to the whole world. So if you look at Srila Prabhupada, how he preached, for ordinary people on the street, he would just say, chant and be happy. He did not give philosophy to the people on the street. He just said, chant and be happy. When they join a forum for learning, and they are coming down and sitting down and listening, then he would explain the philosophy. Then he would explain who Krishna is. So it is the art and science of explaining Krishna is Supreme Personality of the Godhead to the people who are envious or misunderstood or in illusion, in such a way that it is in the proportion of how much they can handle. Because if you go into the rough debates in office or friends on this topic and they say mean things about Krishna, that is not the right way to spread Krishna consciousness. Basically, we are creating mistakes out of that. And even book distribution and all that has to be done in a tactful way. People should not be offended and they should not offend anything ISKCON. So that is why we need lots of good training on how to be good preachers, how to answer the questions. And first, we have to internalize it first. Our habits should align first with what the spirituality demands. And in proportion to how much we align ourselves, Krishna can make us an instrument of his preaching, just like Krishna plays flute, because the flute is hollow from inside. So based on our actual following and adherence to the philosophy and the restrictions, Krishna will empower us for next level projects in ISKCON. For example, tomorrow Bhakti Charu Maharaja's, is it today? Today lunchtime there is a Bhakti Charu Maharaja's Vyasa Puja. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Vyasa Puja also in our temple. So please come if possible. And these are the personalities who are empowered. Why they're empowered? Because they followed everything to the T. That is why they are empowered. They're empowered by Krishna because they really want to follow to a level where Krishna empowers them to do miracles in the world of preaching. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was the first one who sent the first book on the same year Srila Prabhupada was born to the Western world, the proper Vaishnava philosophy. He flooded the universities with the books. And universities in the Western world are really in the new age. These are the Nalandas. And that is why Prabhupada also gave a lot of books in the universities, libraries. And that's why they go into the hands of intellects. Intellects are the brain of the society. That is how we are trying to influence the direction of the society. Very, very important. Other religions also understand that. So they fund a lot of university projects of research and all that in their literature. So in Oxford also we have a kind of a Hindu branch, but in that Hindu branch we have a lot of Hare Krishnas, and they're doing a lot of PhDs in the topics of Jiva Goswami and Satasandarbhas, and they're doing PhDs through the university by studying our Vaishnava literature. So lots of good work is happening. The whole idea is to preach to the masses, but it is an art and science. So let's do it under guidance. We don't want to go and disturb people by saying, hey, you are unintelligent, you're a mudha, because you are either worshipping a devata or you don't accept Krishna as a supreme personality of the Godhead. We can create lots of roughed up relationships if we express this without those people being in the right state of mind to listen. So, in the WWF, they say, don't try this at home. So, like that, you can be very careful in how you spread the knowledge. The best is to invite people to eat prasadam, darshan, and DYS class. And when they sit down and listen, the first point that they hear is, the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, and that is the eye opener. Then, now that their ears are open, now they're willing to listen to the message of Bhagavad Gita, slowly they can digest it. That is how it works. Through a debate or argument, nobody has made anybody a devotee. I mean, there are examples, but don't try this too much. I'm just giving you a side impact of learning this, and I have done mistakes. So I'm giving you the recovery formula before even you create problems. Any questions, comments? Okay. So, quick question. Who are coming for the temple ceremony for Bhakti Vinod Thakur and anybody? It will be around lunchtime, I guess. Then there is another brahmachari who is giving a class at 6 o'clock in the evening in the temple, who is here in town, Braja Bihari Prabhu. Is one of the most eloquent speakers, one of the internally realized devotee. All of us should try to associate and learn from him and connect relationship with him for our own spiritual progress. Again, I would invite you to come at the 6 o'clock class also.
Yeah, I've attended his lecture on Friday evening. I happened to be there. Panchkosha lecture, it was very good. And I'm going to attend this today again. I've even bought his book actually. I was so impressed.
See, there are people who give nice classes, and there are people who are very nice in their personal behavior, and sometimes these can be two different personalities. But he's one of those who not only speaks very nicely, he behaves also so amazing in his personal relationship to you. He will never make you feel how senior he is or anything like that. Very, very, very personable. So feel free to attend his class. Feel free to, after the class, connect with him and maintain personal relationship. He's just amazing life coach, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So knowing there is so much of going on today, and we are at the end of the section, we'll take a slightly early pause. Is that okay? We can take reflections and we can wind up. Fair?
I'll go first, Prabhuji. I have to go to the temple for my class.
Yes,
So I'll be in the temple because our in-person classes are starting today. So I'll try to attend the ceremony.
Before you go, I want to announce one thing. Radhashtami, there was a flower dress, which is perishable, white cloth and perishable dress. I have some Maha dresses from that festival that are being distributed to devotees. If you are interested, it's in my car. You just have to come my home, or how somehow we hand off that. So just get in touch with me if you are interested. Today they'll be gone. Guaranteed. In the evening there is Marathi batch also. All right. Yeah. So back to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I joined a little late to the class, but what I understood from the today's my reflection is like Krishna is like everything depends on him, and then like we are in this world of Maya. Probably we are all are little fortunate that to be nearer Krishna, and hopefully with his grace we will try to understand his the vastness. Krishna is so vast, but maybe we will understand a little bit of Krishna by attending these classes. And thank you, Prabhuji, for guiding us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kano Prabhu, you're on video, sir.
Okay, yeah, I can go next. Probably we started with discussing about the impersonalists, how they are less intelligent, and we talked about how in previously we had like Buddhism, we had Shankaracharya, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How regarding the yuga and the age, what needs to be preached. It is important that how the society, the community is at that consciousness. We talked about how like without rendering devotional service, we cannot even get Krishna. It is from the mercy of the devotee that we associate and we can understand Krishna. So it is not just like the Yogamaya and the Mahamaya. The covering itself will not allow us to understand Krishna. So only with the mercy and the association of the devotee we can understand Krishna. And then the Krishna talks about that he knows the past, the present, and the future. And even though the thought process is that Krishna is also covered with the Yogamaya, which is not true, and he just makes that perception that it is, but he is of eternal bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. So thanks, Prabhuji. That was my reflection.
Amazing, amazing. As much what you are saying is so relevant, your daughter is also stealing the show. Nicely.
What?
Yeah, very cute. She wants to say something?
No, Prabhuji.
All right. Who wants to go next? Nice realization, Suru. Yes, wait, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So we started with the folks who followed demigods, Devta Puja, and then we learned that what you get as a fruit is limited and temporary, and and who actually grants them at the end is Krishna. The other angle we learned is the Mayavadi, the other philosophy which believes that the Godhead is impersonal. And then the third aspect we learned is why these peoples cannot reach Krishna, why they are stuck in these two tracks and not, reaching the ultimate destination of realizing personal characteristic of Krishna. It is because it's not easy to get there, and you can get there only if Krishna allows or grants you that. And the path is devotional service. So that's the overarching takeaway that I had from the session.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Being a devotee is a privilege. It's not like we are doing favor to Krishna. Like Krishna is doing favor to us.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. So I'll just cover some portion which I took away. I think worship of demigods can give you, but may not be always good. Like the artifacts like Bhasmasura, we learned about that. And why it can be limiting and why it will be bound by karmas, and you cannot go beyond, even though Krishna is the ultimate giver, it will still be limited by your own karmas and whatever you've done. When we start with Krishna, and if we can see him beyond the material desires, that is when we can start. Then we can get, and maybe we do not even have desires at that point of time, but then you can get some things which are beyond your karmas, and you can be not bound by the karmas. So that is a key takeaway there.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Surabhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, today we started with like worshipping demigods, and like the crux was worshipping demigods is not a very intelligent idea, because demigods themselves are perishable, and in this material world they are temporary. So as the boons that are provided by them, they would be temporary, and their boons would never help us to go back to the spiritual world. It could just help us in this lifetime in the material world only. And then why we cannot understand Krishna, despite so many books, millions maybe of books are distributed by ISKCON and Bhagavad Gita, and it's categorically very clearly said by Krishna, and Prabhupada also explained that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is because Mahamaya, if we have envy in our heart, or if we have Krishna doesn't think that it's the time to know about Krishna, we will never understand who Krishna is, right? So Mahamaya, and then in spiritual world, the same potency, internal potency is Yogamaya. And only possible ways to get the mercy of devotees, right? One is to purify our intelligence by reading more and more about Krishna, by reading Vaishnava books. Another way is to get the mercy of devotee, which will help lift the curtain. And also we can get some Agyata Sukriti if we are in the mercy of association of devotees. And it was good to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is going on, like after Buddhism, and Adi Shankaracharya now is the time to establish the Vaishnava tradition back all over the world, and not just in India, because Western world is also adopting to, they are also thinking, who am I, and what, if we should, all of us should do our best to contribute our lives to this mission. Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And it's a good realization that we should dedicate our lives to this mission, because that's the highest we could achieve, that's the highest we could contribute, and that's the best we could be. So thank you. And the timing is so perfect, because can you imagine, only 25 years back, we didn't have, say, advent of internet and multimedia and social media. Allows us to basically learn things so fast from so many sources, and so handy anytime. So yeah, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I can, Prabhuji. So we started with a reiteration that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and demigods and Krishna are not at the same level. Then we also learned the analogy of karmic balance, where demigods give you what is available as per your karmic balance. Though it may not be good for you, it may not be ideal for you, it may not be the perfect timing, but still demigod can give it to you. But Krishna will give it to you at the right time, what is required for your spiritual growth, not necessarily what you need. And Krishna can also give you what is not in your karmic balance, whereas demigods are limited to giving you what is in your karmic balance. And apart from that, we also learned Krishna is a knower of the past, the present, and also the future. So that again emphasizes that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the source of everything and the cause of all causes. Yeah, that's my understanding, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you, Sapan Prabhu. So with that, I think we are getting 25 minutes back because we are going to attend other spiritual activities today. Is it okay? So let's do Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Krupa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Hriday Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
So for dresses, reach out to me. The Maha dresses.